her and my dad would like bring me into their bedroom and like I'd sit on the couch and they'd be like, we need to talk. And they'd be like, we really think that you should like lose 20 or 30 pounds. I felt like I had failed.
Well, I feel as though we should begin by each of you talking about how you're feeling about doing this individually.
Well, first of all, I scheduled this on a Monday. I think it was me that wanted it on a Monday because I always feel the best on Monday morning. And I tried to control what my weekend was going to be like so that I could feel really rested. No matter how hard I tried, it completely backfired. And basically, I had a weekend of underlying family issues coming to the surface. When I debated slightly, thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can do this, I can't do this, I can do this, what I came to was that of course I'm doing this. I'm supposed to be whatever I am right now.
Lily?
Right at this moment, I feel like pretty calm and like present and comfortable. I was having like all of this body shame come up over the weekend for the first time in like years, where I like hated how everything was looking on me, and I was like going out to a club for the first time in a long time, and like my friend was over and we were getting dressed and she's like a model, and like I was already having a hard day with that, and then on top of it, I was like just getting jealous of like how easy it seemed for her to like get dressed. So, like at first I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to do the what's underneath on Monday if that's how I'm feeling. Like, but then I had the same experience as my mom, where I was like, oh, actually it's meant to come up. I meant to be like in touch with that like old wound.
All right, Mom, briefly, what does your style say about you?
I think my style says that you could not mistake me for anyone else. It means a lot to me that I could not be confused for anybody else because I was never valued for who I was.
I think my mom's style is like much more complicated than mine. You don't like to be as feminine as I like to be. You like to have more masculine like energy to your style, or androgynous, and I really like identify with being feminine.
Like I could never just wear this dress.
Right.
And I could absolutely I would never wear the shirt. Like,
Right.
I actually think probably at the end of the day, maybe I'm more inspired by Lily. Well, I'm very inspired by her comfort in her skin, her journey. She's totally my hero. It totally blows my mind.
I just believe in like the deepest part of my soul that like beauty emanates from feeling beautiful and feeling good in yourself, like, and the way you move and like that energy. I genuinely believe that that's what's beautiful. So I know if I'm having a bad moment, I don't think the answer is like diet. I think the answer is like deal with my brain. That unlearning has like happened.
What are assumptions that people make about you as mother and daughter?
I think people probably idealize the situation, and then there's like definitely, without a doubt, people closer to us that really judge us. Well, none of them actually say it. They just never ask us anything about anything that we're doing, and it's as if it doesn't exist. Our relationship makes them extremely uncomfortable.
There's a judgment that it's like unhealthy for us to be like working together and this close. When we first started StyleLikeU, I was afraid that I would be like smothered by the dynamic because I was incredibly shy. I was afraid, I think, that I'd like be in her shadow a little bit. Interestingly, like the opposite thing happened as far as like me growing into myself.
But we've definitely had a lot of long periods of time where I feel very smothered by Lily. I've had to find myself.
What do you think the biggest mistake Mom made as in growing up? Like, what was her biggest flaw as a parent?
Mom's biggest flaw as a parent was wanting to like protect me and my brother from feeling like any pain. As a result, she inflicted pain. Growing up, I really struggled with my body image. I was like probably 160 pounds and 5'7" when I was in like 5th grade, and she was like the MILF. She was like the hot mom. She also didn't dress like quite as like man repellent yet. Like she was like wearing like low rise like 7 jeans with like her thong hanging out when she picked me up at school, when she'd bend over, she was just like so fucking hot. Like, so she's so empathic, and like I think her coping mechanism for a childhood of being like misunderstood and like not tended to in her needs was to just be like so obsessed with making sure we never felt pain. And so when it came to my body image, she saw that I was struggling and was feeling insecure as a middle school girl. We'd go jean shopping, and I would like sob every time we went jean shopping. She'd go in and she would just be like sliding on pair after pair, pair after pair, pair after pair, like looking so cool. And I would just be like squeezing and like muffin top, like so sad. Her response to that was not to be like evolved and empowered, which would have been to like empower me to like accept and embrace how I was. Her strategy to make me feel less pain was to push me and encourage me to lose weight. And also her and my dad were like health freaks. She was a yoga teacher at the time, eating only like food from the health food store, and like my parents exercised 7 days a week. There were treadmills and like elliptical machines in the basement, and they were just down there every morning, like, and meanwhile, like going to my friend's house after school and like eating the entire box of Oreos to like rebel against like the like gross snacks we had at home. So we would basically like have these talks, and they'd be like, we really think that you should like lose 20 or 30 pounds. Like, I think that you'd be happier. Like, I felt like I had failed. We would make a plan together. It would just be different diets and like exercise routines. I would then get in the zone and like wake up before school. I'd do the elliptical or whatever for an hour at like 6 in the morning. I would be on these intense diets where I ate like 700 or less calories a day. I would lose the weight, and then I would get all the validation that I wanted by like the hottest guy in school, whereas like I wasn't getting looked at by anyone before. But then, you know, little by little, I would always loosen up again. And so then I would like gain the weight back always, and I'd be like so disappointed in myself, and I'd be like, I did it again, and it would just happen over and over, and then we'd have to talk again. It honestly feels like a lifetime ago, but it was not the best approach.
I mean, it's made me see how unbelievably ignorant I was, and yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievably ignorant. There's nothing else to say. It was absolutely like stupidity. In my scope, in my world, the media world that I was in, the society, everything that I grew up in, you are supposed to have almost no fat on your body. What was considered overweight then is literally being thin. I mean, you could be like a thin person then, and you would still be considered overweight. Mm-hmm. I remember it starting when I was 10 years old, feeling like I was overweight and starting to do like jumping jacks like fanatically. By the time I was 15, 16 years old, I was severely anorexic. You know, I can remember moving down into my basement to get away. All I was doing was fighting, and crying to be my own person, to be heard, to be seen, to feel safe. I discovered that eating was something I could have control over, and my body was the only thing that I felt I had control over, and it was the only way, I guess, looking back on it, that I could scream, help, and I didn't get it. I was 80 pounds. I mean, no one ever talked about it, got me help, nothing. I was in the eating disorder because I felt to be me was not acceptable. But I did always have this really, really, really strong spirit. I don't believe that I came here to be suffocated. I believe I came here to overcome.
So when Lily was in her like 12, 13, 14, 15, like biggest eras of struggle with this, you were also looking at yourself in the mirror and going, I'm not skinny enough?
No, I wasn't doing that, but I think all of the fanatic cleansing, you know, perfect health, the eating disorder just got cloaked in fanatic, compulsive trends. I do remember with the jeans, like I remember going, I am gonna find her a pair of jeans. Like we'd go from place to place to place to place to place to place, and I was getting pissed. Like I was pissed that there weren't the jeans. But I didn't have the awareness to go, jeans are just another form of this patriarchal bullshit oppression that I'm a subject of, and now I'm transmitting to her. I feel that I have transferred low self-worth and low self-esteem to Lily. The lack of value that I was given as a woman, that's something that we're jointly working on.
Do you remember like the revelation point? Was there a moment like in the beginning of StyleLikeU where you were like, oh my God, like I've had this so wrong?
Yeah, I think that the revelation that I had this so wrong began when Lily started to ask me to take pictures of her. And I was like, oh my God, she's like fucking perfect and beautiful and everything.
I was really cathartic. I wrote this article that's still on StyleLikeU called Accept It or Fix It about my body. Should I accept it or should I fix it? Should I accept it? Because that was the thing in my brain at the time. I was like, which way do I go? I genuinely don't know if this is a problem to be fixed or I just need to accept it. And for that blog post, we needed pictures, and I asked you to take the pictures, and I remember we went to American Apparel and we got this like black dress. We took the pictures in the dress and I was okay with those. And then my mom was like, no, take your clothes off and let me take pictures of you like in your underwear. Like I remember looking at them and hysterically crying, like being just like devastated. My whole like strategy to not like confront my shame with my body was to like not ever look at it. At the beach, like if there was a picture being taken with my friends, like wear a towel. Never looked at myself in the mirror undressed, like would like hide from the mirror. Like so I was reprogramming my brain by like looking at more different kinds of bodies and finding them so beautiful through StyleLikeU and through what's underneath and through our work, but then also looking at my own and like getting more used to it, and all of a sudden like the same things that I used to poke at, like you know, my cellulite and my stretch marks and the rolls and everything like stopped being disgusting to me and like started to be like normal, and like eventually they kind of became like cool and like something that I actually like liked. It honestly feels weird at this point to me to talk about my body image journey because it feels like I'm talking about a past life. It literally, I'm like, this is so boring to talk about my body. Like I don't care. I'm just saying that I think that's cool.
All right, Mom. So if you could go back to when Lily was 12, what would you tell her from your current perspective?
I would tell her that she was absolutely perfect as she is, and that there wasn't anything about her that had to change. If the clothes weren't there for her, I probably would have started making them to just really, really celebrate her, let her just expand and bloom and blossom.
What advice would you now give 12-year-old Mom?
Yeah, I guess I would just tell her that she doesn't need to like prove herself to anyone and like seek validation outside of herself for who she is. Yeah, she's so incredibly powerful as a person, and she doesn't need to look for it in anything outside of herself. Like she has it all.
All right, what's your favorite body part of yourself?
I guess I would say my flat chest. Yeah. I like this part. Like I like all this part. And it was something that I was so incredibly self-conscious about when I was younger. Like it was, oh my God, I was horribly self-conscious.
And you?
I really like my face.
Nice face.
I think I have a nice face.
I like my face too. I like it much more now than I ever have. Not so much in like Zoom, but I feel attractive. I think I like my face, and I when I had, you know, no wrinkles and no nothing or whatever, I didn't feel that way. I didn't appreciate it. So I really can tangibly transmit to everyone that it is definitely something about how you feel inside of yourself that makes you feel beautiful or not beautiful.
What's a body part of yours that you used to not love that you do like now?
Let's see. I guess we could talk about like my arms, because like now I have this thing where I like think that like bumpy shit that like happens when like my arms touch my body is like a hot thing. The fat coming out of a like slinky tank top. Like I think that like looks hot.
When do you find Lily the most beautiful?
Right now. Right now. No makeup, calm, letting go, no Google Doc.
When do you, Lily, find Mom the most beautiful?
I always say I like her like weekend, like her weekend vibe. It's like the version of you that I see that the rest of the world doesn't see as much, which is like the vulnerable, softer version of you. Like you're so strong and like fierce and empowered with the outfits and like the whole like what she's trying to say with the outfit and like the whole thing. Whereas like on the weekend that I see her as this like smushy, like softy sweetie pie, and yeah, maybe that's when I find her the most beautiful.
All right, so final question. Why is being in this journey, lifetime, Style Like You, mother-daughter relationship, a good place to be?
I'm just so grateful to be like born her daughter. Like I honestly like don't understand how that's like happened to me. Like out of all of the like people I could have been born into, I got to be born out of like, I don't know, just like the most giving and like caring and like self-aware, like wanting to, someone who wants to like grow as much as she does and like doesn't ever just like settle for an old version of herself, like is willing to be a beginner again, is willing to like have so much optimism at age 60, I don't know, what, how old, 63. So.
Sometimes I can't believe it. Like with both of you, I can't believe like how much you love me or how you still love me or something, because I'm still on that journey of like believing that I am lovable. I too feel like I have to pinch myself, that I'm doing something that is healing myself and then is healing millions and touching millions of other people. I would never have been able to do any of it without Lily. So the fact that I have been gifted this incredible, phenomenal daughter who like on her own, separate from StyleLikeU, is like such a talented and loving and pure person, just to be able to feel that unconditional love so deeply it's not even real. It's like, it feels like a dream.
Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online community that offers thousands of inspiring classes for creators or for those who want to get started on their creative journey. Skillshare members can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, or get completely lost in their creativity. Members have access to a variety of different classes ranging from film and video production to music to illustration to design. One of the classes that we're most interested in taking right now on Skillshare is Powerful Storytelling Today, Strategies for Crafting Great Content. Like Skillshare, we believe so much in the creative community. Everybody has the ability to be creative. The first 1,000 StyleLikeU subscribers to click the link in the description below will receive 1 month free of Skillshare so that you can start exploring your creativity today.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of What's Underneath, featuring us.
And guest directed by our brother and son, Louis.
For more videos like this one, hit subscribe to StyleLikeU on YouTube.
And don't forget to ring the bell so that you can be reminded every time we drop a new episode on Thursdays.